society in a big amount without using artificial intelligence somehow.
Are you gonna hold your phone? Are you about to fart again?
I didn't fart. That was our couch.
Our first episode, you actually farted right at the beginning. Twice.
Did you pick it up on the microphone?
You asked, and I tried to. I listened really hard to try to figure out if I picked it up. No, I didn't.
Is that your objective? Was listening for my fart?
No, you asked me. I definitely did not.
You know I'll fart because what do I say?
Did you hear it?
No, I don't say that. What do I say? What do we teach our kids to say?
God damn! Excuse me.
Yes, excuse me.
Pardon me.
I say excuse me. I say excuse me.
Why are you holding your phone? I don't. This is the thing. You're ruining the whole. Like, I don't understand. It's like there's only 2 episodes, but I feel like we've been doing.
First of all, I don't know which cameras you're going to use.
Again, the same exact thing. There's 3 cameras, and the same thing is going down.
You know what?
Why are you on your phone?
Because
our associate producer
because
doesn't have a lot of time.
Because of the recent arson and mom of one of the students.
I'm not going to keep this part, so I wish that it was like said. So you have to look at your phone for something for real.
Requested no posts anywhere. Direct action. Yeah, I just got a direct action text from Dawn, so I'm. All right. I gotta share it privately, so it's fine.
Action.
There's no such thing.
I'm gonna actually, yeah.
There's no such thing as action.
Oh my god. Remember, we have to say our name of our show. That's the rules of the thumb.
Okay.
Welcome to our 2nd episode of Borderline.
Why'd you wait for so long?
I don't know, dude. Like, I'm just trying.
I
I'm
was
just
ready.
trying to find out
I
where
was
you
locked
are.
and loaded.
I'm gonna.
I am
text
right
message you.
here.
Why don't you say it so I can say it with you? That way I can follow you. Go.
All right, welcome to our next episode. Welcome to our next episode of Borderline Racist Marriage.
Yeah.
I feel like we should sing it when we say it.
Let's try.
Borderline Racist Marriage. No. No.
I would like to.
Why didn't you join in with me at that time?
First of all,
Ready?
I didn't know the notes, and you had like a whole.
You don't have to. You're good at that. Come on, you're improv.
You wrote a song.
I did not write a song.
That's literally some other commercial.
I did not write a song. I don't know. Ready? Now you know it.
All right. Borderline racist
marriage. Okay, well, we can work on it.
Do you have a topic you would like to start off today's podcast? Because I already have one.
Yeah, I'd like to start off with what's happening locally in our neighborhood.
All right.
Because
let's not talk about our neighborhood specifically, but let's talk about the subject specifically. You know what I'm saying?
Is that your way of saying don't say names?
Don't say names. Let's protect the.
Yeah, don't say names
involved.
of locations. Don't say names.
We can
of
talk
people
about
involved.
it being a cafe as an example. We can talk about the situation. We can talk about the ages.
Yeah, let's let anybody else who's going to listen out everybody.
Yes.
We don't want to be responsible for that.
Boom. Go.
It won't be hard.
What's happened? What happened today, yesterday, last night, after the...
At about 3 o'clock in the morning last night, a local cafe that is... can I say like that it's in the north? Like, can I talk about the area?
We're not just doing a podcast for Seattle, Washington, so you can say
I know
whatever you want about the area, but like it doesn't matter.
But I mean, we could also talk about the context, like the redlining north of Ship Canal Bridge. We could talk about a little bit of that.
You can say what you got to say.
Okay.
Go ahead. We're north of Seattle, where Antifa lives.
Antifa goats.
I'm sorry, I interrupted your train of thought.
Yeah.
We live in a predominantly white neighborhood.
Okay, then that's that. I feel like it needs to be said that we live in a white neighborhood.
And that's practice makes perfect. All right, let's start from the sing-song part of it, since we're episode number 2. And are you good? And I'm sorry for interrupting.
We don't need to sing it. We don't need to sing it.
I think that's great. Welcome to our 2nd episode of Borderline Racist Marriage. I'm going to put the outtakes in because that's hilarious.
Okay.
What's the topic that you would like to bring up for our second try at this weird podcasts?
Well, local stuff. The stuff that just happened that, like, today. So we live in a predominantly white neighborhood, and there's a cafe, a local cafe, that was just transferred ownership, was just bought. It's called Black. Oh, shoot. Nope, we're not doing that. See, you know what? Why don't you introduce exactly what it is? Because I'm going to have a hard time. You know exactly what it is. You are the person who has, like, the film history and production stuff. I can talk about what happened, but, like...
Just saying.
There's a no, we don't need you to interrupt.
A black-owned cafe. Recently, so it hasn't even opened yet. I'm not going to cut
this stuff out. I'm going to keep
So the cafe is black-owned, but it's new. It has not opened yet. They've done, like, a couple, like, pop-up shop type of things. And they've done a lot of, like, community involvement. This is a place, it's not just black-owned, but it's also very, very deeply rooted in community enrichment and upliftment and youth.
Because white people are acting a fool.
Well, quite frankly, like, one of the owners is 18 years old.
18?
18. This is
an
a high school
African female that is 18.
18 owns a cafe.
You know what I'm saying? And
tomorrow it's supposed to open.
What she said.
Tomorrow is supposed to be the very first grand opening day in the brick and mortar actual cafe. First day, grand opening. And last night, or rather early this morning around 3 a.m., some racist Yahoo, and no, the investigation hasn't happened yet. No, you know what? I don't even care. We've got so many issues with racism that have happened over the summertime, and well, just for all of history, but really overt, blatant, loud, dangerous acts of racism, specifically geared towards our black youth in our neighborhood. Somebody tried to set fire to the joint. They threw a Molotov, what is it called? Molotov? Is it called a cocktail? Molotov. Tried to blow the place up last night. Tried to specifically set fire to the gas line.
Well, try to blow the place up and how they did it are two different things, but I don't even want to promote the fact the fact that they did it wrong is not really what I want to promote.
Or they did it wrong on purpose just to scare people.
Right, that part.
Doesn't matter why, doesn't matter whatever. What matters is that it happened. What matters is that, yes, we do believe that it is most likely a racist act of hate and a crime, a racist hate crime, specifically geared, you know.
I want to get into exactly how you feel about that personally, because you're, like, interconnected to this predominantly white neighborhood and community, but you're now entrenched to the ethnic side of that very predominantly white ethnic.
Well, this isn't the community I grew up in, though.
It's not a community you grew up in, but
we moved to this community together.
But your community you grew up in wasn't that much different.
Nah, not at all.
But
it was a little bit different.
The point, what I want to speak to is that what just happened yesterday is what everybody in the world witnessed, and that was two white men debating on live television about how important they feel that they are and how they plan on governing all of America's.
Was that what happened? Because that's not what I heard.
What?
I heard two old white men being absolutely ridiculous, being absolutely ignorant and ridiculous.
Would you
use that word on purpose? Ignorant.
Would you tell two of your white males that they were being absolutely ridiculous?
Yes.
If you had two white men that were your family members talking about how to run your family, would you tell them that they were absolutely ridiculous?
I mean, why do you think I'm strange?
I
have done that. Yes.
Hot take. I think that white people don't check their white people as much as black people check their black people.
I have.
Did you hear what I said?
Remember in Oregon with my uncle?
No. Listen to me on a... Yes, you did check your uncle. Full stop. I'm saying I think that white people don't check their white people as much as black people check their black people.
Truth. That's the truth.
You know what I'm saying?
100,000, 10 million, bajillion % to that, yes.
I feel like the string or the connection or the leash interconnected to the marriages of black people in that situation.
Well, because here, see, white people are putting piece of the family ahead of racism. So they're being racist.
You have to elaborate.
White people are being racist.
No, you have to elaborate.
Okay, so when a white person calls out other white family members, oftentimes, in fact, damn near, I mean, I'm willing to say probably 90% or more of the time, it's going to cause friction, it's going to cause problems, it's going to cause, and this is just based on my experience, everybody. I am no scientist. I haven't looked into any numbers, although this might be good for you to look up. Like, I don't know if there are studies looking into family discord when racism is called out. But my own personal experience is a lot of my white friends have reached out to me because they are having falling out with their family, and they've reached out to me to ask me how I've dealt with that and basically what kind of self-care I've done, because like,
self-care?
Yeah, self-care, because they like freak out. You lose your whole family sometimes.
Am I hearing, I mean, am I feeling...
You lose your parents, you lose your aunts, you lose your uncles, you lose your cousins. Like, some people, such as myself, are completely estranged.
Can I ask a rhetorical question?
Always.
You, with energy in your body and soul, said that white peers of yours, are asking what you are doing for self-care as you all are finding yourselves in a situation.
There are tons of conversations that happen that are outside
but you're not hearing my question.
They're reaching out to me to dump on me and to talk about their sadness and to talk about the heavy weight of losing family members.
But
yes.
I'm saying that I'm looking at
what do you do? How do you take care of yourself?
All right. As an African American, I'm hearing that and I'm thinking that's garbage as fuck.
Okay.
You guys are talking about self-care over losing your families. I didn't want to mock it, but I'm saying it's interesting that you guys are worried about or talking about or coming together because
over racism.
Right. Over some like losing your family and how you're doing self-care.
Over forced loss of family.
Exactly. And I feel that you see what I'm trying to get at? I don't want to be rude to you or the subject matter of anybody that is white that's dealing with that situation, because I'm sure that, they're probably suffering.
Well, that falls under the category of white fragility, right? Like, white fragility is called white fragility because white people are fragile.
That's what I'm trying to get at right here. But I didn't want to get... It's like every time... We only done it twice, but I feel like every time we talk, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to rock the boat.
Really?
I really don't want to rock the boat. Because I feel like... And this is what I like about what we're doing, I like about what we've done, is that when it comes down to it, I have a coded way of talking to you, and I have a real way of talking to you about what it looks like. And it looks... The fragility that you're talking about, were so wholeheartedly talking about it, and about how... With compassion about them and about your experience, and you guys are going through something, and I'm just like, I hope it gets worse. I don't want it to get worse for you in my house with our children and as a marriage.
It already is. It's already messed up.
But what I'm saying is I want it to be bad. Because I think it's absolutely asinine that there's a struggle over, well, I don't know what we're going to do for their college now that we lost our money from our mom. I don't know what we're going to do for their house because we don't have, they're not going to help us move into the new one.
I don't think it's all monetary, though.
I'm just using that as an example. I was about to say more examples, but it's not all monetary. It's emotional.
Yes.
Your mother was not the mother that she was when you thought she was who she was. Your uncle was not respectable enough to even hold his tongue.
They are who they were, but what white people are doing, they're going through their whole entire BS of like coming to recognize the racism within themselves and all of that stuff. So there's all of that going on, and then at the same time, they're being called on to call out other white people in their lives, and they're burning bridges and cutting ties and being estranged from not just family members, but loved ones, friends, workplaces. There are people who are making, decisions.
I begged the question in the last episode.
Not enough people.
I begged the same question.
Not enough white people.
Is it enough?
Nope.
Is it enough action?
No.
Is it enough action for themselves of those individuals that are suffering from their fragility being... I don't know what is being ripped from the person who finds out or has to check their family for being overtly racist during this time. What is the loss?
The whole family.
Okay. The
whole family. There are people who are totally estranged from their families. Their families don't even call them or talk to them anymore and think that they've gone Antifa or gone crazy or gone whatever, and that divide is there.
But wasn't their family falsely structured in the first place?
That's not for me to say. I feel like mine was. I can speak personally, and I can say I feel like mine was to a great degree. I mean, isn't this country falsely?
100%.
Yeah. So families that were built in this country and have like lost touch of their roots that happened before this country are freaking floating.
What?
Coca-Cola Santa Claus.
What is your position on fragility? What do you? I asked a question like this last time.
I'm fragile as my own personal.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fragile as food.
You're fragile as food.
As food.
I love pho. It's very, very delicious.
Ooh, don't even bring that up. That.
Very demonstrated. Oh, there's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about the thing. Let's not bring in the thing.
Talk about.
Now we got to talk about the things. You can't say don't bring in the thing. And not.
We're not going to talk about the thing. The thing does not concern Black lives.
This is not Black Lives Matter podcast. This is.
All right, then do you want to
borderline racist marriage?
Borderline racist marriage.
I feel racist right now.
Racist? Did I just racist to you?
Well, like, this is the crazy part is like...
Isn't my existence and us being married racist being all the time?
Shockingly,
like,
I didn't know that it was possible that could happen.
Me neither.
I didn't know that it was possible that racism... First of all, I didn't know that racism would ever be discussed in an open, global forum. I'm saying global because I think the outside world is looking in. I have a pretty good worldview, and I believe that America has no idea. White America has zero idea about what they look like and what it sounds like and what it feels like. But, you know, the history of all humans on the planet has already been, you know, muddied with slavery, autocracies, and capitalism and everything else. Back to fragility. Back to fragility. Yeah, that's the one. Don't worry about it. You just like pointing at camera. She likes pointing at camera sometimes.
Don't. I just noticed that a light wasn't on, so I was worried that what he was saying wasn't caught up. So
it's all good.
In a pause, I pointed.
Yeah.
I didn't want to speak over you, because I do enough of that.
Who's our producer, we have a producer here who's going to be joining us on a regular basis. Can you look up the definition of fragility, because I want to actually know it.
Just plain fragility.
I want to know what fragility, how, like, if you were to Google what fragility is.
Fragile. It's like a little, like,
I know,
it
but
can break easily.
Gosh, and I wish that you can feel, when I say stuff like I wish you could feel, I wish I was with a bunch of my people that were black when I say what I'm about to say. I think the word fragility is weak as shit. I think that word is not the right word. It's a great word, and it's like affirmative action and saying African American. It doesn't seem like it seems like a gimmick.
Could call it just white weakness.
Because here we are pointing at people saying we got to fix white fragility, and there's no accountability for fragility and the action of there. It's not even the action. I'd rather it be a sickness, like a disease. I'd rather it be like you got to get help, and that's what it is. But that's not what's happening.
Weakness. Would weakness be strong enough of a word? What would be a strong enough word?
Well, fragility means you get strong. Like, how are you going to get strong from the fragility of being racist?
Fragility means you can break.
Yeah, but if you're going to get stronger from it, if it's a weakness...
Got an answer.
I know, but I'm going to ask... Sorry, just a moment. If it is a weakness and you can gain strength from it, so you're not afraid... So this is my point.
You don't gain personal strength from it.
I think that's what people are trying to do.
But here's the thing: there are trainings and classes and things like without a white person actually digging in and doing the work and reading the books or doing the studying or looking into anti-racist training and actual anti-racist work and anti-racist like that, without digging into that for a white person, you're screwed. Like you got there's no.
And as I try to convey before,
because white fragility comes with every other term that you're going to learn about and every other thing that you're like. It's not like it just like exists all alone by itself, but it is. Maybe it was created. Maybe fragility, white fragility, and fragility itself was created to like be. Oh, it sounds kind of nice. Maybe that will entice more white people to come and do this work. I don't know.
I think everyone needs to get a master's degree in whatever the hell that is. So,
we could figure out who deemed the term too, and be like, why'd they do it?
What I'm saying is, I feel like whoever's studying it, those white people that are awakened to like figuring it out.
White people didn't call it that themselves.
Just like they didn't call chop chop, right? White people probably call chop chop. They probably call it fragility. I don't know. It's probably just it's a jelly jar turned into a glass.
This was from like my last. That was San Diego. It is. It's broken. I can't have this class anymore.
I believe that... Wait, hold on. Let me just... What is the definition of...
Google's definition is the quality of being easily broken or damaged.
Yeah.
The quality of being
easily broken or damaged. Weak as fuck.
Weak as fuck. Can you look up the word black? The quality of being
I'm
weak.
afraid I might swallow some glass.
You're making your thing is like the quality of being weak as fuck or damaged is just going in my head, but that's not what the definition was.
That is what the definition is, though. That actually is what the lessons are.
Okay.
So when you're like a little white person floating around, like, oh, I think I should check out this anti-racism stuff, and then you go check it out and you learn about it, then you realize, like, oh fuck, like.
But you don't learn that you can't fix it. They don't learn that they can't fix that. It's not going to change.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting like there's a double negative or there's like something happening and I don't understand.
So you were talking about the proverbial
training actually gives you tools to use.
You get a certificate at the end of it, and you fixed it.
I don't know. I've never completed it.
Are you literally saying what you're saying? Because I'm confused. Are we doing showy stuff, or are you actually not understanding what I'm saying here? You're literally about to say that I don't know if they get a certificate at the end that says their fragility is broken, and
I don't know what
that makes no cognitive sense to me.
Anti-racist trainings. There are tons of DEI trainings and anti-racist.
Well, you're not hearing me. There should never be a point where your fragility is fixed. It's not like that. It can't be.
No, there's just tools so that you can work to get better at just doing better.
Oh wow!
To dismantle white supremacy.
Em, can you tell me the definition of black?
Yes, there's many.
Yeah, okay. Just
as an adjective,
they give away tokens, like.
As an adjective, it says, of the very darkest color, owing to the absence or of complete absorption of light, the opposite of white. Next.
Tight.
I might be eating glass. What are you doing?
I'm not worried about whatever you're going through.
There's broken glass.
There's no broken glass.
Yes, there is. Feel that? That's broken.
Okay, then don't drink anymore. And what were you saying?
Number 2?
Yes.
Of any human group having dark-colored skin, especially of African or Australian ancestry.
What?
Say that again?
Of any group...
we're both looking at the camera like, what is going on?
Of any human group having dark-colored skin, especially of African or Australian ancestry.
How'd we get to Australia?
I don't know. This is Google's.
Dang, is Google
You know what,
racist?
though? If Australia broke off from Africa, but then apparently everybody, like everything is motherland.
I don't have time for that. But black's not a quality. Right, you can't... What?
Black color or pigment. That's the other one.
Yeah, you can't get it. You can't fix it.
Am I allowed to get up and walk away and come back?
You can do that. I'm just going to cut it away. Like, go ahead and do Well, that's an interesting characterization.
I didn't even hear that. I was checking that.
Will you, Em, will you look up the definition of white? I feel like this fragility game.
Okay.
This
game.
This pop culture reference. This buzzword is happened again within this last 7 to 8 months on the heels of people seeing George Floyd.
You mean like an uptick in them because the words have been around for like
a
decade.
I feel you on that. I'm just saying like this game, right? The buzzword.
I'm really worried that I swallowed glass.
It's just glass. We do all kinds. You got bugs in there too. You got amoebas.
Bugs? It's better than glass. I'd rather eat a bug.
Yeah, there's not a big piece of glass. I wouldn't be worried about it.
I'm talking about little piece.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a big piece. It wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, so I have Merriam-Webster's definition.
Oh, okay, good.
Merriam-Webster.
Number 1 is free from color.
White.
2, being a member of a group or race characterized by light pigmentation of the skin.
Okay, a member. Because they're band members.
A member?
Here's an interesting one. This is number 3, free from moral impurity.
I'm sorry, what?
On what? Who did that?
Merriam-Webster.
Free from moral impurity?
Of course they did.
Yes.
Of course they did that. It says innocent?
Yeah, just like I feel about fragility. The word fragility feels like that same, I shouldn't have had this thing be associated with me. It's just temporary.
That is fragility.
Yeah, and that bullshit that I just heard is really interesting.
Free from color. Free.
Free from color.
Free from color.
Free from color.
Hallelujah, or free from color. Sorry. What the hell is that shit?
What do you think old white people were saying about what they saw when the two president people trying to do the president stuff to become president? What do you
Old
think?
people?
Yeah, what do you think about the old white people were saying?
I mean, I bet there's varied responses.
Yeah, of course there's varied responses, but what do you think maybe even comical statistical reality?
I think a lot of old white people are happy they're going to die soon.
Damn!
If I was old right now, I might be happy that
Oh, they're like, give me that COVID. I need to go.
I mean, that's honestly, you asked. I think that a lot
funny.
of old white people are like, well, thank goodness I'm not going to be around for this mess.
Even
though they helped create it.
I don't think that that's true, but I think it's hilarious. I thought that people were feeling that way.
I think it's true. I didn't say it to be funny. I think it's true.
Oh, wow.
I've heard a couple of old white people talk like that.
But
a lot of them have checked out. They're like, this is too much for me, and like my back hurts.
But the same white people were doing the exact same thing when Obama became president. They weren't wishing that they.
No. Like I'm talking about the yuppie old white people, the ones who were like
the liberals,
or those ones too.
The Antifa baby makers. They make Antifa babies.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, mostly.
Because Republicans don't make those. Republicans make white supremacists. I mean, what is going on?
I don't feel like we can box. Okay, look. I don't feel like we can box.
I'm not serious, by the way. I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
So say what you gotta say.
I feel like it's irresponsible and dangerous to box people into political boxes. I think that it is extraordinarily problematic and dangerous to do that.
I think that it is not good to box people in racial boxes. I think it's extraordinarily problematic, and I'm just trying to say your words, on race. So I think it's interesting how we always talk really like we got everything to say and how to powwow against. But here we are right now, throwing Molotov cocktails at black people's businesses. Here we are right now, getting pulled over in a car with the dude's hand on the gun, but I know his hand's on the gun, and I already know how to deal with that because I know about policing and
the police officer's hand is on the gun. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
There's a dichotomy though to this, right?
Oh, I love that word, and I love how that's weak compared to what's going on here. But yes.
No, but there's a dichotomy
100%.
to this though, because there is we shouldn't box people into race. We shouldn't box people into this. At the same time, we're living within a system that absolutely does systemically do that. Therefore, it's like if we don't pay attention to how that is racially happening, it's like a toxic ass cycle. It's like a toxic ass screwed up toxic family cycle that goes around and around and around.
And I'm trying to have a Dr. Cornel West moment and say the conversation about how we talk about political spheres and the conversation about how we talk about, you were just right, like about race and da-da-da-da. I'm saying,
I don't know about.
Aren't you?
People are going to think I'm wrong too. So
right. I'm just trying to say I'm trying to have a Dr. Cornel West moment and say everybody's okay with talking about it a certain way, but they're not saying that it actually is the racism. It is the problem. When we say systemic and we talk about politics,
power is
thank
the problem.
you. Here
Power
we go. Power is the problem. So then the people want to know what's
money,
the fix.
Power,
so do I need to get rid of my money? So
Davis.
How do we kumbaya? I can't get rid of my money. That's what they're thinking, and I'm saying, I like you, Elizabeth Warren. I don't want you to get rid of your money. Mm. You want her to get rid of her money?
Oh, I want all of them to get rid of some of it. I don't want them to, I want them to get rid of some of it. And furthermore, if they should all be on public health plans. All of them.
Why?
Because the public health plans is what they're voting in and voting on for all of the people. Who do they represent? All of the people. You want to fully represent all of the people? Live like all of the people live. Live like the majority of your people.
I like what you're saying. I disagree with it as a functionality for society.
Well, I'm just saying to live, like they should have certain aspects of their life that they have to experience that are like the majority of the people who are also, like, it's not cool. Like, they're so out of touch. I mean, I feel like we're going backwards because we're talking about white politicians first on our list. We've got a little list here tonight.
Well, what?
Just maybe it's the last on our list to talk about, but maybe we should talk about white politicians first.
Having the skin that I have and coming from the background that my ancestors led, meaning like they gave me my breath in my life and being a part of African American culture, I like to believe that our plightful wish is to attain and gain many things that the Anglo-Saxon American has gained. I think that we're not striving for capitalism, but we are striving for riches and sustainable wealth, if it's individual sustainable wealth or if it's generational wealth. And what I was saying to the point about what you're talking about is that I don't, and I could get into the whole doctor idea about as well. I don't believe that the healthcare should be measured in that way. To me, that becomes more.
I mean, I was using healthcare as an example.
It becomes more communistic to me.
I was using healthcare as an example. But that was just like as an example, like they need to experience, or perhaps they need to have a year or 6 months of being on. I don't know of an so that they can actually. So that they're not walking into a building and going, hi, how are you? And then they leave and vote on things.
I just want high quality. I just want high quality healthcare for every single human possible. So if it is a person who is a trans and who unfortunately is fallen to their vices and drugs, and they suffer from that, I want them to have the highest quality care. I want the person who is wealthy to also choose their doctor for their family and sustain that because that doctor has worked for that position that I would call it honor of being able to hold homes. And I don't want to. I don't. Man, yes, I believe so. I believe that if you work really hard and you've written papers.
Who's the judge of that, though? That's what is the judge? Who is the judge of who has worked hard for everything that they? Oh, my family is that. My family is the white, democratic, liberal. Well, not all of my family. Some of my family is very Republican and very in Jersey. Anyways, the ones who are out here, I don't know if they'd be considered liberal. They'd be considered more democratic. But they are very much. Well, everybody that we know of in our history has worked hard and hard and hard and hard and hard. You know, there's doctors in our family. You know, there's farmers, and there's people who have struggled, and there's this and there's that or whatever, you know. And okay.
They worked hard. They
worked really hard. They earned a lot of money. They're very wealthy. Okay. And so they should have better health care than...
That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying everybody should have better health care, but also, is that actually sustainable when there's so many humans?
I think So
does there have to be people who are like
you'd have to digress so much so that you can't say any words for a second. Just try to
no problem.
You have to digress a lot right now to try to get what
I digress a lot.
This is what I'm trying to put in perspective here is, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to be I could challenge this myself. What I'm about to say, and it's not 100% true, but I will say no black person in America has robbed their way, though truthfully not true, robbed their way by taking from everybody in America to gain their riches. They have sold drugs, they have actually probably murked people, they have Oprah the Winfrey the hell out of whatever they did. But what I'm saying about the difference between the two races or cultures is that yes, you worked hard and I worked hard and my family worked hard. My dad killed people for a living and then came back and then had a child. That's what my dad did to make me, and I ain't shit. But in my opinion, I don't have the things that you're talking about. So when I'm looking at it, and I'm using my little quick example, I can use my friend. I won't say his name, but I grew up with him. His mom, he's my guy. I'll say his name. He'll like Isaiah, my guy I grew up with. His mom and father broke up. They used to fight each other tooth and nail, drank alcohol. Alcoholism was a part of their social culture. They worked hard, like you're talking about, in the areas they were only provided. And then Isaiah gained the knowledge enough to step into what he's doing and work hard and try to maintain a marriage relationship with 2 children where he's actually the breadwinner and he's watching over the children. What I'm trying to say is he's striving for the position of being able to have really good health care.
But how do we put the brakes on white people in America? How do we...
This is the argument we're having all around.
That's the argument what's all across the board, because my family's been able to go to school to be doctors.
But I'm saying I want to strive for that. I want to strive for...
My family's been... Yeah, okay, but by the time our family now, seeing as we're married with biracial children, by the time our family figures this out, how far ahead are all those white Republicans going to be? Is what I'm saying.
They're not the only people.
How far? No, I'm joking. Yeah, yeah. I'm joking. I'm but do you hear what I'm saying? How far ahead are all those people who have millions of dollars to leave to their children? How much more wealth are they going to build?
To me, it's not a race like that.
Okay.
To me, it's not a race like that because there's really good humans out there.
But here's the thing. If everything is always incremental, like a bubble is going to burst. What goes up comes down.
See, here's the thing. I'm a different... this is great because I'm a completely different being. You have the liberty to talk the way you're talking because of everything that just happened in history. Like, you get to talk like you're talking at your ancestors, your mother, your father, your uncles, your grandfather. You get to talk about them. Like you were just in the beginning, we were talking about how white people don't check their white people enough. You're not even talking. You haven't even been able to tell them this message, and you're talking about it.
Well, I've been estranged from them for years. I've been estranged from them. I've been estranged from them on and off since you and I got married. Right. Wonder why?
Right. So, that part.
Wonder frickin' why?
Why?
Well, I used to think that it was because of all of the other underlying family issues that were isolated to just my family, because there are issues in my family that were what I thought were the sole reasons and the only reasons for why we were, why I made the choice, because that was my choice to estrange, not yours. You never wanted to be estranged from my family. Come to find out in the last 6 or 7 months, that's not the case. Come to find out that it's fucking exhausting.
What is?
To be around my white family is fucking exhausting. Well, we touched on this in one of the episodes, the last episode, about I had a realization during our episode that I was like, oh shit, like I made up that white people song to cope. I made up something funny so that we could laugh and bond and be family and cope with how exhausting and difficult it frickin' is to hang out with those white, yuppie, blind, pompous, privileged, just, ugh. MNFers.
MNFers. And what I was saying just before you started this, thank you for saying that, is that the only reason why you get to have this conversation is because my ancestors bled, fought civil rights, gave us, without their knowledge, this opportunity.
Survived.
But don't interrupt me for a second, please, just for a moment.
Okay.
Because I have family members that are dead over this, over racism. I have people that have died over the racism war. I have a whole group of people that I will never know who died just trying to get here. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm get to the part where I'm trying not to cry, but I want to give this message to us to understand something. The privilege of talking about fragility comes from those that are oppressed and broken taking or focusing their energy on tilling the land, building this America, shutting their mouth, all the indigenous that are dead, not even existing, not at all capable of regaining land. Unless something completely changes where they become the ones who are gifted this land again, and they are the ones that set the rules by which we actually move in it, think in it, build in it, work in it.
Or white people just eat themselves and then like...
Eat themselves? Everything that just happened in history gives us this moment, and to me, that's what the fragility needs to be talking about. You fucked up everything, not you, proverbial,
my ancestors
privileged individuals of life, of humanity, and you have left your actual relatives, people that are your seeds estranged on this earth, which is supposed to be made in heaven, depending on almost every single, unfortunately, on almost every single sect, every single religion, every single...
Unless you're atheist.
Atheists are talking about it's supposed to be good too.
The which parts?
Earth!
Okay. Oh, wait, okay. Yeah.
You think the Green New Deal's not built by atheists? Write that down. Let's look that up. Check to see if the Green New Deal's built by the atheists. I'm just playing. That's just me being silly.
It's built by a lot of people. I've got a friend in politics who wrote
But no, check it. Look it up. Just see if there's any like conspiracy theory.
I got a friend who wrote some stuff. It's written by lots of people in politics.
I agree. Like if we're gonna be on the Earth, we are, and we're gonna try to figure out Earth, we have to, and we gotta balance out Earth for ourselves to be on Earth. Then, I mean, I'm gonna be the third person to say it. I'm making stuff up. I'm gonna be the first person to say it. Maybe the first black person to say it. Let's get them atheists in the office.
Oh, I said that earlier today on a Facebook message. So it doesn't
really?
count. I didn't say it on a podcast like you just did.
I'm kind of joking, but
what you just said was.
Can you tell me more context about what you said?
Absolutely.
Because first of all, this could be a deal breaker if you say something real messed up about how come you said atheists should be in power.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap it back around to white politicians. First of all, I'd like to touch note on like whatever we witnessed last night was very much two old white men eating each other. So that's where I was grabbing from. White people will eat themselves. Last night, what we witnessed.
Cannibal.
During the debate. Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn it. That's
we're about
brilliant.
That. White people are about that. Cannibal life. Okay, I'm taking.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You did. You had me at funny, but not.
So I feel like I'm probably gonna butcher this term.
There you go, another metaphor. Look at her. She's just dropping bombs on you, son.
A friend of ours, a family friend of ours, made a post.
Wait, are they white?
Shh, yeah,
they're not my friend.
Okay, one of our family friends.
I'm just kidding.
Dear family friends, one of our dear family friends.
I forgot to press record on those other two cameras.
Oh, well, would you like to do that right now? Hop on up, sir. Let's do this. All right. I'll keep on going while he's doing that because it just takes a leaning and a pushing.
Can you press the front button?
Front button?
And then the top button, and then the red button. The red light will go on. Don't trip on anything.
Is there another camera somewhere?
Right above the light.
What?
Front button. Front button,
only on you?
Front in front of me. Yeah, down there. There's a little circle.
Is that your personal camera?
Press it. No.
She definitely turned it on me. Now it's my personal.
It's on everybody. Camera. It's on all of us. Hold it down. Ding-a-ling.
Technical difficulties. Okay, what were we talking about?
Red circle. There should be blinking.
Don't edit this.
Perfect.
There's no reason to edit any of this.
This is great.
White people eating each other. Okay, so and we're talking about white people eating each other. We're talking about atheists being in office. Okay, and one of our dear family friends. We're talking about social media now too. Like that's what I'm talking about right now, which is like all bull cockamamie. But she made a post. So last night Biden mentioned, he said inshallah. Which either means it's will you type? Yeah, we gotta look that up because I know it's either God related, or it can also mean like never gonna happen. Like when pigs fly, basically is like
I think he meant
like pick up your wet towels, husband, and it's like when pigs fly.
He's more of a when pigs fly.
He said yes, and that's what he responded to Trump really quick with an inshallah. He actually responded with that, and that's a Jewish term,
right? Because God's out there like that.
So anyways, there was like a meme about it somewhere, and my only response was like, well, like, can we talk about like all of us Americans who are sitting out here who would be okay with a Jewish Muslim, or no, it's Muslim term. Is it Muslim?
It says Arabic.
Arabic. It's Muslim. Yeah, it's Arabic.
Yeah. No, you're just loud when you said Arabic.
Sorry, are you gonna have to do something with that takes you 2 hours in post production?
I want everybody to look up the word Arabic.
Okay, we need to look up the word. And forgive me, please. And I totally just screwed up and foot in my mouth. I totally mixed up Jewish and Muslim and Arabic. I totally just screwed that all up.
It's not that bad.
One of the things is one of the other people who was talking was also Jewish and talking about some stuff. The term, yeah. And I just, and my little contribution was just like, well, I'm personally ready for a Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, atheist, like you name it. Like church and state needs to be frickin' separate for us to like actually do all right and live peacefully together, right? Like if...
Right.
Like, let's take a look at where all of our religions maybe cross and agree, and like focus on that.
Or not for the office, but I will.
Not for the office. No, church and state absolutely have to be separate. And fact of the matter is that they never have been.
I think people know that.
Oh yeah, people know that.
Will you just look up, because I believe it to be true that there's never been a Jewish president, and I think that's the reason why.
No, there hasn't been.
This is the reason.
No, and that's why Ruth Bader Ginsburg is the first Jewish person to lay in state.
Right, and I believe that that's the reason why.
Who just passed? Yeah.
I believe that's the reason why Bernie gets boxed out right now. And anyway, that's a whole different subject matter in its own.
Is that true? It's true, right? True.
Yeah, I mean, we got Google doesn't always tell us the truth because Google's making some bullshit earlier about some black people, some white people bullshit. What?
So he called it.
Anything about it? No.
Bullshit. White people and their bullshit.
Let's do a segue right quick
into finding a school or mixed people and kids.
Let's talk about like.
I'm reading our list.
Yeah.
That he wrote.
That I wrote. Wait, you don't like my writing?
I love your writing.
Today,
I really do.
Good, yeah.
You did a damn good job.
I didn't spell politicians at all right, but that's normal.
You spelled it almost right. There's an O that should be an I, and that's it.
I'm Lex Dexic.
And it's all right.
In the streets.
That's called gifted in the streets.
So,
Gifted in the streets. I don't know why I like that.
An old 1980s cartoon that was probably inappropriate. There's a lot of those, by the way.
No, we were talking about how there's not those, though. Okay.
Inappropriate?
Okay, no, you and I have to watch a documentary film. First of all, I don't feel like I can let this go by without giving a shout out to the producers and the creators and the filmers and the people who exposed, or just not, they didn't even expose it. It's stuff that we already know, right? Like, we already know that, like, social media, we already know that online social media and online areas, it's like the it's like the stereotypical wild west, right? Back in the day when everybody was like on their, what's that trail called? Wagon trail. I played it, you played it. People bop.
The ukulele?
No, Oregon Trail. The
Oregon Trail.
Yeah, freaking gold up in Alaska. Anyways, online spaces are like that right now. They're not regulated. There's no rules.
They never were regulated.
Well, no, of course they weren't. But you know what? At one point in time, neither were our physical spaces. Correct?
Regulated?
Wild West. That's a quote unquote.
Yeah.
There was no law.
Yes, okay.
There was no law. There was just people being whatever.
I'm so excited for your point. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I just want to.
Anyways, there's a documentary, and I'm going to give a shout out to it. And I hope you don't cut it out in post production.
I won't, because I definitely want some sponsorship.
We're going to watch it together tonight, and I was hoping Melissa would be able to watch it unless she already had. Oh, dang it! I did that. You're going to have to do that.
That's okay, because I can already cut that tonight. Go ahead, keep moving.
Quickly.
Tuck, stop.
Okay.
I'm going to teach her how to edit too. Yeah, you're about to be up in this mix.
Okay.
Make you stop.
Okay, anyways, I was hoping Em would be able to stick around and watch it with us too. I was really hoping for that tonight, unless
dogs are racist.
Dogs are racist. Or anti-racist.
Ooh.
So,
wait. Can dogs be racist? Yes. Oh no, they can be taught that.
Oh Lord. Where are we going?
No, that's real. Not where are we going, that's real.
That is real.
We're having dinner with a friend who's doing some amazing work in South America, who was talking about her dogs that speak Spanish. She's not even speaking. She doesn't speak Spanish. She's Korean, and she's got to talk to her dog in Spanish because the dog does not respond in English.
And she's about to go adopt an Egyptian dog too. That's gonna be cute.
That's a crazy.
Wonder if that dog speaks English.
I wonder how the Egyptian and the Latino dogs are going to be doing.
They're going to be doing
in South America.
I think they're going to be doing just fine. Okay, the name of the documentary that every single American, like, honestly, my personal opinion, if it even counts, is that all of America should take, like, a few hours off in one day to watch this documentary together because it's that profound. and it's called Social Dilemma.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not all people in the whole world. That's what I'm saying, like specific to our country, because our country's very divided right now. It's very problematic right now. It's not surprising right now that it's that way, but there are some very specific, true reasons why it's that way that don't even have to do with human interaction. Anyways, have you seen Social Dilemma yet?
Just
you have
watched that.
You did. I watched. Okay, I do not recommend watching it right after a presidential debate this year, which is what I did last night. Not recommended. That's why I was awake until 4 a.m. And probably why I was so bitchy today, honestly.
And about kids.
Have you watched Social Dilemma?
You asked me the question earlier during the part where you were being, what's the word you just used about how you were?
Fragile?
You didn't say that, but I'd take fragile. Because I'm trying to be an ally.
Bitchy. I've been bitchy and hard-headed. Yeah.
I was just trying to get my ally card for, like, not being sexist. And then you guys went and killed somebody on the streets. And then everybody's out here, and I'm like, fuck it!
Who killed
somebody? And I'm just like, I'm not even wearing that. I don't even have to flash my ally card right now because everybody's a fool.
Everybody's a fool.
But I still I really gotta respect my sis. Oh my gosh, can I just speak on this right quick? So in the last episode we were talking about...
that black women should rule the...
Well, no, but you did interrupt me. And I was talking about not interrupt... I want to talk about not interrupting black women right now while they're talking about all of... whatever it is.
Anything.
If they're talking about politics, raising children, healthcare, right now I feel like... And this is a bias. Used to be a bias, but right now I feel way different. I feel way different because of what's going on right now. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, we need to just listen to what they're wanting to say, how they want to say it, where they're saying it. If they're doing it in music, it's going to get weird because you haven't taken it in. And even as a black man with a black mom who's Afrocentric and growing up around a matriarchal dictatorship, that's my phrase I love to use because all I had was women.
I like that.
It was a truth. All I had is women, and if I was over there and there's a woman, one of my aunts was anywhere in that proxy, she ran that corner while we played, and then if I was over here, that's what it was. But anyway, we need to be listening to them for real. And I recognize, I know you want to talk about something, I recognize that what's happening to me is falling back. You keep interrupting me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
White people... we're trained to interrupt. I just interrupted them to tell them that we're trained to interrupt.
Why are you trained to interrupt?
It's ingrained into our genetic system to interrupt and hijack conversations. And to just... And that points to the term of white privilege. But... we don't even need to get into that. We already did some fragility stuff.
Trained to interrupt yourselves?
No, trained to yes, ourselves, anything. Well, I mean,
y'all talk too much.
Well...
let me just explain what I meant by that, even though it was a joke from my face brain. Let me explain. You get the privilege of talking while all these other races have to, my mom used to tell me, hold your tongue. My mom used to tell me about how her grandmother said, you bite your tongue. And you used to not be able to talk. If you say something, don't say something because master's going to come in. Don't laugh at that, but that's how it is. We were told to not talk. We had to keep it safe. There's an underground railroad. There was the free slaves and the non-free slaves. I believe that all of that privilege you gained from just talking about, I don't know, this tea tastes bitter.
Well, now we're getting into the realm of intersection here, right? We're getting into the realm of intersection.
Slightly big word. Go ahead.
It's not that big of a word. It's another worm, right? Worm. Word. I mean, what do we got so far? We got fragility. We've touched a little bit on
everything.
Privilege, which is not a privilege. And now we're talking about intersection because, yeah. God. I don't know how many times you have to say something in different ways, the same ways, different tones, different whatever, to talk about how it goes, right? Because everything crosses over everything else. So, damn. It's too big. That's too big. I feel like we're going to need to set aside a whole nother.
Can I ask you a question? In this moment right here, are you feeling inside of you sadness?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. I feel sadness every day. I feel sadness, first of all. Every day.
Newly?
No.
Well, what were you
sad
for?
For the last decade.
Sad about what? Well, we've been together for a long time. So.
We've been together for about a decade.
Here I was.
Sad I'm married to you.
She's sad. Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like.
No.
Well, because you have to address a bunch of stuff that you don't know that you have to address.
No, here's the thing. No. I don't have to do shit, and that's the point. I'm choosing to address that. Again, we're going to point back to that whole privilege word.
Well, what do you mean by you don't have to?
I don't fucking have to do shit. I could just choose to do whatever the fuck I want. You might divorce me. The fuck? My family's this, da-da-da, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do shit. There's that privilege BS coming in where it's like...
I think everybody has the privilege of not doing anything.
That's true.
So I don't know.
But I don't think... But systemically, it has different effects.
What, you're going to still be landing on your 2 feet? You're going to always have a job? You're going to always find a man or girl or whatever?
One of the reasons why we called this is borderline. Like, I don't know about that.
You don't know. You choose another ethnic person?
What?
I mean, like, well, that's something like...
No, all I'm saying is that, okay, all I'm trying to say is that white people, we get to choose. We get to choose when we engage. We get to choose when we disengage. We get to choose when we learn about something. We're not living every single day. All I'm talking about is also the intersection of systemic
Can you look up the definition of intersection for me? Because here's what I think. Here's what I know. I know that we are choosing. I used to tell my peers when I was younger, as I would say, everything that happened before my life existence regarding my ancestors, my mother and my father, my aunts, my uncles, and going all the way back, that's on one side of the math problem, and I and every one of my peers are on the other side of the equal sign.
That's how you feel.
No, but I think that's what's going on for real right now. I have been
ready. The equal sign of where? Where does the equal sign stand?
With the birth of every child of my mother's generation. So every child. Let's
put it into historical context. So for me, because the birth of since white and black people could legally be married.
No.
Like
the world is bigger than that. I'm not stuck on America. Let me just say my point. Okay. I'm gonna say my lucid point. In my head, 1974, which is not the year that I was born, was the year that everything changed. And to me, that was the year that darkness of all of us, this is weird, I know it sounds weird, of humankind was going to change and evolve, and it wasn't because of me, it was because of many different sequences of events. Vietnam's ending, the people coming out of that, the conversations that were being had, what civil rights had birthed, what people were earning, what black women were getting, what black men were getting, what people were doing of color, how the movements of things were changing. I don't have an historical pivot to point at, but one person who's a mentor of mine's grandfather passed away in 1974, and he's a spiritual leader.
Is it teacher. So? This is just personal to you.
This is my personal thing. So
this is your personal thing. You're not talking about on.
There's no such thing like that. Yeah, there's no such thing. But what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to convey.
I thought you were trying to talk for everybody.
No, but what I'm trying to convey. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to say. But every person who was
in your family, in your ancestry.
I'm gonna make it broader. Every person who was in the ages of 15 to 100 that are African American, specifically African American, during the civil rights movement, if they were birthing children, which is not possible at 100 unless there's something I don't know, were birthing children after 1963, like if they were making child.
Right now we're into 1963.
I'm trying to because you don't even know what I'm talking about anyway. You don't know about civil rights enough to even hear me. Just be quiet for a second. Like you're not. I just need to say this point. This really, really frustrates me, and it's okay. Everything after the civil rights movement and the women's movement, does that make you hear better?
No.
Okay, everything after the Civil Rights Movement, every child that was born after that was of color, is on the other side of the equal sign.
That is what I thought you were saying in the first place, and what I was attempting to
interrupt me about and try to talk about. Let me finish my sentence so I can say it.
I wasn't trying to interrupt you.
Like it feels gross when you're interrupted by. Here's the thing: is if I was talking to my peers, then nobody would interrupt me. They might even do this. But every time when I'm trying to communicate, even if it's because of us, you're not listening, because you're probably thinking about what thought I'm trying to convey, or you're not helping me by interrupting me.
I feel like I just understood what you were saying in a historical context to apply to everybody.
I was also trying to get to that point. Like, I let you have a tangent where you were trying to get to a point, and I said, oh, it'd be interesting when you got to the point because you were elaborating. Anyway, this happens in conversation quite a bit. When I'm trying to speak about race, even though we don't have the relationship yet where I get to just go off about being African American and or understanding what the world is, we don't have a part where
you don't feel like you've ever done that.
No, I didn't say that. We do it, but it's not there where it should be like, okay, let that be, let that be, and let that settle, and that's okay.
Really?
100%.
You don't ever feel like it's ever just let that be and let that settle.
I don't want everybody to get into dichotomy about how our engines work. I'm saying, as a fact, we're not at the place where I can say what I was saying. And we'll play it back and you can listen, and you can just listen.
I think the confusion was like, are you speaking about just yourself and your own personal self and your own story?
I said that I was when I was talking about 74, and then I was moving to go, here I am talking about the bubble.
And you talked about 1963.
Yes, civil rights. And I said that specifically. Do you have anything to say about what I said about my opinion? It seems like you...
I don't fully understand your opinion.
About when I'm trying to communicate about things. I don't want you to interrupt me when I'm trying to communicate about things, especially in this forum, about things that are related to... In this forum, I'm trying to ask you not to interrupt me while I'm talking about my opinion about black people.
I didn't realize it was your opinion.
You literally asked me the question during the process of me saying it. And I told you that it was my opinion, my personal view. You asked me a question, is that your personal view? And I said, yes, no, 74. And then I went on to say more, and you interrupted that. But...
Well, I apologize for interrupting so damn much. I'm getting lost in whatever thing you're going on, and maybe that's fine, and then I can just stay lost, and that's okay.
Yeah. And that reminds me about how people of color have to assimilate.
So I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for interrupting so much just to try to, like, understand more.
Thank you for saying
that. And that's going to happen.
People of color of all colors have had
it just happened again when you were saying it. That's okay. Why'd you marry me?
I don't know.
You really don't. He really doesn't know why he married me.
It was it was soul math.
He really doesn't know why he marries me. He doesn't. He doesn't know why he marries me. That's a continuum. You choose to be married to that person every day.
I like that. It's very scientific.
Is that what it is? It's scientific?
My brain says so. My left and right brain acting at one time.
We haven't talked about either of the two things, but we're almost... Oh, no, we're not.
Yeah.
We're 40 minutes in. It feels like it's been a while.
Right. Oh, no, we're not 40 minutes in. That's 40 minutes.
Did you look up as it applies to racism?
It's not a short. It's like...
It's not short. Yeah, no, it's in depth.
There's like...
Yeah, it's in depth.
It's in depth, but it's also another part of the problem. None of this stuff's going to be in the Google as it's written.
Yeah, it is.
No, the black people didn't put black definitions in the Google. And intersection is not talked about how you're about to, which is going to be intellectually sound.
I can look it up too. Like intersection as it applies to racism, or intersection.
I feel like those are thesis papers that people are writing. Right. I know I was writing them when I was doing my communication.
No, they're already like okay. Who is the person who originated intersection as it applies to racism? It was a woman, and it was not that long ago. And I forgive me, I forget her name off the top of my head. That's my point. Is that it's not that long ago. No, it's not. No, none of that. None of that is that long ago. Right. But okay, do you want to elaborate though more on like whatever what is on the other side of the equal sign after 1963 or 1974? Because I got confused about which was which, personal versus the whole. I'm going to say that the thing that is on the other side of the equal sign is I'll coin Obama. I'll call Barack Obama's word change.
like the actual change. We get to officiate
in this country.
Yes, Western world of it all, the Western world, because I mean you can go into the dance of like
intersection.
Oh, you're trying to read her name?
That's right. Kimberly Crenshaw.
White person, yeah?
Nah, no, definitely not a white person.
Oh, she's beautiful. She out there.
Definitely not a white person.
Kimberly Crenshaw. My bad. I disrespected.
We can look up the anti-racist handbook or workbook.
Right. Yeah, we could put some of that stuff up on here too.
We will. We're going to need to put some links for y'all. We're going to need to put some links to the documentary that we just talked about. We're going to need to put a link to the anti-racist handbook.
Yeah, I'm sorry for being.
I'd like to also.
I'm sorry for being emotional just a moment ago.
What? Why would you apologize for your emotions?
Because I have fragility too.
Masculine fragility. Oh shit.
And an afro. A triple threat?
Please, you never need to apologize for emotions. And I'm an asshole. Like, I was trained to call
assault.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Just stop on all that weirdness. It's not. And I was trained to call people out. I am an 80s baby, and I was very much like, you know, white feminist. I don't know, whatever. My mom pounded her bra. Or no, maybe my dad did that to her bras. I don't know. Like, no bras.
Going on again? You blow me away with these little things.
We're talking about free boobs right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
First you're pounding bras, and I don't know how.
In case you haven't noticed, there are a lot of free boobies out right now, like there was in the 60s and 70s. And
I do know that the free boobies are out there, yeah. And
free the nipple. Like, women should be able to jog down the street topless if they want to.
I don't think that it's just free the nipple, but I think it's body positivity. Am I wrong? Isn't that
They
that's
intersect.
What we're talking? Okay, they. So
those two things.
Hippiness and body positivity are intersecting?
Nah, free boobies, body positivity, intersect. Free boobies.
Free boobies.
Body positivity.
Yeah.
Intersect.
How far does body positivity get to go?
Guess what else intersects? Like, so many things intersect in the same place.
Can you just...
Okay,
I love what you just said. I don't want to stop that, but I really want to know
boobies, body positivity.
What's going on with the hammering some bras?
Oh, okay. So I think okay. That's just a personal story. That's just my dad.
What?
Or no, it was a boyfriend. It definitely wasn't my dad.
Wow,
my dad was like a eugenic white dude who was like all about like
another boyfriend story. Let's hear it.
My mother's boyfriend.
Oh, he was hitting some bras?
My mother's boyfriend in the 70s hammered her bra clasps closed so she couldn't wear a bra.
What?
Free the boobies. But it shouldn't be up to a man to do that, let alone a white man. It was a white... my mom never dated anybody that wasn't white.
Can you take one beat to just describe the actual action? What is being hammered and why? A bra clasp is being hammered?
Yeah. Okay, so there's a hook.
Yep.
There's a hook and a little like thing, and then like, and you hammer that shit down,
so it never can grab.
So it can never grab. And then I think, but you know what? So I think my mom had a boyfriend who did that shit because sexism exists and free boobies also exist and body positivity. My mother has amazing breasts. She really does. Like
that part.
She does. She does.
It's all out there.
She does. My mom has great boobs.
No, but
they fed me for 3 years.
Okay. No, they fed you for 5 years.
No, they fed me for 3 years.
Anyway, we're in counseling about that subject matter.
I breastfed for the first 3 years of my life. Anyways.
And it's like that though.
So did our first child.
So you got one on deck right now, still doing it.
He's 2. He's still breastfeeding. Well, yeah, we're trying. Like, trying to shave it down.
But
anyways.
There's a male that hammered some bras.
Breastfeeding.
Hold on a second.
Body positivity, free boobies, they all intersect.
Yes.
I don't have 3 arms. 1,
yeah, but
2,
you're doing
3.
the funny again over it. That's the 5th time you did the exact same gesture. There's a male that tried to free your mom's boobs.
Yeah, an ex-boyfriend in the 70s tried to free my mom's boobs, and then I think it was my dad,
problematic.
and then I think my dad like tied knots in her pajama pants or in her pajamas so that she had to go to bed naked. Men suck. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah, but that wasn't the topic of the conversation.
Yeah,
now
white people suck, men suck. It all intersects. Okay, we can get back on topic real quick.
First of all, if this gets seen by anybody that we know or don't know, and you're ethnic, Latino, Asian. I don't get. Just tell me how many different scenarios where you saw your parents or heard about your parents hammering some bras together, tying up pajama pants.
Are we wrapping it back around to white people are crazy? Because
thank you. Are you not crazy?
Why are you giving me a serious look?
You're white. You're representing white people. I know, but you're representing white people right here. I'm just being funny.
Okay.
Are white people crazy?
I think all people are crazy. I think white people might be like their own brand of white people crazy, perhaps.
I feel...
On the whole, there are some outliers. There's always going to be some outliers that maybe aren't as crazy. But, like, on the whole, like, like...
There's some people that
But that's like, yeah. That was on purpose. On purpose.
There's some
racism.
Black people that I follow.
It's not cute. It's not cute.
There's some Black people that I follow that...
Don't do it.
There's some Black artists and entertainers and people that I follow that help me say this without attaching it to me, who speak on what's really going on in the world about how we've been treated and how it's going to stop, and how maybe an actual race war might come. I'm talking about Black people talking about how a race war is likely to come and how prepared we are for that. And in what you were just saying, in the fragility being exposed and in the strength being worn and adorned, and without anything, we know what to fight for because we know what comes on the other side of this. The promised land, the 40 acres of the mule, the white people being crazy comment / analogy is that I believe in some of these things that I've been hearing from some people, and one of the people I follow is from 5150 show, Corey Holcomb, comedian, who I actually worked with 2001 or 2 or whatever the case may be. And those guys touch on the fact that white people are sadistic in a way that affects their families and affects all societal functions.
White people.
And I don't believe, and I'm saying this kind of like as a blanket statement, I don't believe Latino people are sadistic. I don't believe African American people are sadistic. I don't believe that the Korean people, Asian people are sadistic. And that right there is like biblically sick. And so when I hear like what you just were saying, like the thing that's weird about how you were even commenting and how you're like, it's like snide or the snapbacks, that comes from like privilege, but it also comes from a very interesting place where like...
Well, I don't... Oh, keep finished.
Go ahead.
I thought you were going to be finished.
Go ahead.
I don't think that people who remain intact to their ancestral roots are sadistic. I believe that I'm talking about like the root of it. What creates that sickness is
being sadistic.
White people eating white people.
Yeah.
White people eating themselves. I mean, like it's the same. Like jokingly, metaphorically, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I think that again, there's outliers. There are white families, like light pigmented, right? We looked up the definition of white tonight.
Yeah.
Light pigmented people in the world who have held very close, very tight, are very bonded with their ancestral roots. And perhaps they're not as sadistic or sadistic at all. And perhaps they're grounded and rooted and there's that tie. I think that the majority of white America specifically, white Western, whatever, is cut from that, and it creates what you're talking about right now.
And I say this with emotion, and also trying to assert this energy here is that if you notice, I didn't say anything you said. I did not even mention how white people are successfully accomplishing the goal of being non-sadistic. I'm trying to convey the fact that it's never a person of color that really brings forth how well they are doing as a collective. It is always
how well people of color are doing.
People not of color. It's usually a person that is Caucasian that talks about how well off we can be, or how good you guys are doing, or how it's half and half.
White people aren't doing good.
No, but I'm saying you just did it. You just talked about how.
I talked about outliers because there's always going to be outliers, but they're outliers. On the whole, and the majority of light pigmented people, white people, specifically in America or Western culture, are sadistic and are cut from their roots. What I'm talking about is like, what's the reason? What's the reason? Like, or I mean, what are we? Do we want to get into? Do you want to try to like touch on the subject and get into the reverse of eugenics? Like, do you have a belief in the reverse of eugenics?
Yeah. I do, and our producer was just saying that we're going to wrap it up. I do want to wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we should talk about the reverse of eugenics or eugenics.
Reverse racism, reverse eugenics.
But we also should be talking about, like, you know...
we didn't talk about two of our...
That's okay. We talk about biracial children in the society and schooling, like trying to find schools for people
what's coming up next.
Color. Well, I mean, it's good. We can segue, like we talk about what we want to talk about next week, and then we do it and we try to make sure it happens, but...
I mean, like, what is genetically, black people don't do the sadistic stuff? Genetically?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's you guys who talk about how good you're doing. As a privilege. You just kind of, like, said how well... I didn't talk about it. I know 0 people of color that volunteer how well white people are doing. I know 0 people of color that volunteer that white people are doing okay. They're figuring it out. You just did that. You just talked about how it kind of like, you know, there's some outliers. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying there's outliers.
You're not understanding what I'm
families
saying.
Connected to their roots. I'm not talking about that those people aren't racist.
Yeah, okay.
I'm talking about that those people are not as sadistic. Those people are not as
exactly. I'm not saying everyone's sadistic.
apt to be
freaking
crazy.
And I'm not saying that people are literally sadistic. I'm talking about a generalization.
Right, and I'm not saying white people are literally eating people.
But he did eat his lunch, though.
Who?
Right?
Who?
I thought Biden, in the sport of Trumpism, of rumpism, I thought Biden took down Trump, and Trump's the only person.
Not at all. It looked like 2 old, white, nasty-ass men just
I would
being
love
ridiculous.
to know what other black people think about what Biden did.
I'd love to know what black women think.
Damn it.
I don't want to know what black...
I have nothing to say about that because they rule the world. I believed Beyonce when she said
black women.
When Beyonce said that they rule the world, I thought that was true. And I think that's it. Thank you for another episode of
Borderline Racist Marriage.